this local newsletter based in Melbourne, Australia hasn't posted in months, and I'm going to fix this in 24 hours so that we could get this going again. Now, one of the main reasons people drop their local newsletter is just the amount of time it takes to write, but I'm going to show you how we can write this thing in 5 minutes these days using AI and still provide a huge amount of value for our audience. I've also got 5 things here that I would fix that I'm going to go through. Now, you can check your own local newsletter, see if you need to fix these things. You could offer this as a service to a local newsletter that hasn't posted in a while, just like I do. Or what you'd be able to do is you could buy this newsletter and launch it for yourself. I could do any of these things, and I want to show you in this video the 5 things that I would fix. So let's get straight into it. The home page. I actually really like the logo. I like the name of this, but there's no tagline. And tagline is really important for SEO. And it's really important for the value proposition in order to build that trust and that expertise and tell people what they're getting. And right now, I have absolutely no idea what I'm getting from this newsletter unless I open an issue. And that's friction. And if there's friction, people are not going to sign up. So I want to add a tagline in here. I want to include the word free. If I've got a decent size list, I'm going to include the number. And what I'm also going to include is what I'm going to give people for free. So live music and events, news and community updates. Whatever it is, I'm going to be including in my newsletter. Now, I'm going to get to the content of the newsletter in a second and what I would change, because I would change this up from what they have been doing. And I would make it completely different and focus on live music and live events. And that's because I can get that information into my newsletter in about 5 minutes instead of 2 hours for each issue, which is going to save me a huge amount of time, allowing me to focus on growth and focus on monetization instead of actually writing the newsletter. I can bring in some of what they were doing previously in later editions, but I want to get this thing launched and going again within 24 hours. The other thing I would do is I can tell that this is built on Beehive, and Beehive have a new website builder platform. So I would get this updated and make sure that this web page is on the new web builder. That wouldn't take me too long. As I said, I would sort out the tagline and I'd make sure that there's SEO in there. So this is Melbourne, Australia. So I would want to make sure those keywords are in there. So my tagline is acting for both SEO as well as for value for the reader. So when a visitor comes along, considers subscribing, they know what they're getting. In the back end of Beehive as well, there's all the SEO settings, the meta description, all that kind of stuff. I would go through, I'd review it all and make sure it's perfectly optimized so that I start turning up in search, not just in Google, but in AI tools as well. So that is the first thing that I would be doing. The next thing I do is I would check out the welcome email. Now, when I check out most welcome emails, if you go into our breakdown series of local newsletters, we've got 5 or 6 on the channel here now. You'll see I always find big issues with people's welcome emails. There's a lot of missed opportunity there. It's the most opened email. It's the most clicked on email. So we need to get it right. So I would be reviewing the welcome email and I would be optimizing it for replies, because what that's going to do is it's going to reduce the number of my emails I send out that go into spam. I'm going to optimize it for referrals because, like I said, this is the most opened email that you're going to send out, the welcome email. So I'm going to ask people for that referral and make it super low friction. And again, Beehive has the tools for you to do that. If you want a discount on Beehive, by the way, there's a link down in the description. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a self-liquidating offer. Very simply, a self-liquidating offer is I figure out how much I'm going to be spending on Facebook ads, and then I run an offer from my welcome email that is going to allow me to get that money back. So if I'm going to spend $100 a month on Facebook ads, then I'm going to make $100 a month from my offer, which is in my welcome email, and therefore my cost for acquiring a subscriber is 0. I've done videos on this previously. If you'd like that video, just put SLO down in the comments and I can send you a link to that video. I also have a tool to help you calculate it as well. So you can figure out the numbers, like, for example, how much you need to charge for this offer and ideas on what that offer could be. So if you want that, just put SLO into the comments. The next thing I would do is I would look into email list reactivation. So once I've got everything looking great and I've got my welcome email sorted, then I want to send an email out to everyone saying, look, this email's been dead for a while. This newsletter, sorry. I am emailing to let you know that there's a new team on board, or we're getting this thing going again. And I put a big fat unsubscribe button in there, because what I don't want is I don't want this newsletter going out to people that aren't reading it. I need to clean my list. So I would send an email out saying the first issue, brand new, is going out this date. This is what you can expect. They probably put in some examples of what they can expect. So I'd find some examples of live music, events that are really cool that are coming up, and put those into the email so people have got an idea of what they're going to see. And then I would send that out. Like I said, I put the unsubscribe button in there in case people are not interested. And I would send probably 2 of those out, one a week beforehand, one about 48 hours before the newsletter goes out, just so that I have woken up my list the best possible. And I'm going to use tags, and I'm going to segment my list so that the first email that goes out to everybody, and then anybody who didn't open that first email, they get the second one. So I'm not bothering people that have, I've emailed and they've opened it and they've seen it. I'll probably have some kind of clickbait in there as well, in order to be able to get people clicking onto the newsletter, so that I can get that whole ecosystem waking up again. I might even consider putting in my SLO link as well, if I've got that built. So that's the email list reactivation done. And those emails are scheduled, ready to go out with the segmentation set up. The fourth thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the newsletter. So if I show you this one, because this is the last one that they wrote, this is a year ago since they have written anything. And I'm going to reorganize this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have some kind of welcome back message. I'm going to tell them a little bit about me if I bought this newsletter, or remind them about the owners of the newsletter if I'm partnering up with them. I'm going to have an ad up here, even if it is not a paid ad. I need it to look like an ad, as in I'm not making money from it when I say paid ad. I need some kind of ad at the top so people are straight away used to seeing something at the top that looks like an advert. So when I do have customers coming in and paying me for these slots, it's not something that is new to the viewer, so the reader of the newsletter. They're used to seeing an ad at the top. Then, like I said, I'm going to have a little bit about what we've been up to over the last year, just telling people that the newsletter is going to be coming out regularly again and what to expect. Then I'm not going to do headlines. I'm going to go straight into live music and events, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to get rid of all of this. This is lovely, but it is very, very, very time consuming. And I can use AI in order to just get me live events and music into a very, very simple newsletter. And then down the bottom here, I'm going to have a sign off. The information at the beginning and the bottom is going to be personal about me. I want these readers to start to connect with me. I want them to have a sense of community. I want them to feel like this newsletter has a personal touch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of links down here. One where it goes to a simple Google form that allows people to submit events to me. If they have an event, I can include it. And then another one that has the way for people to add a sponsorship or an advert. And again, that's just going to go to a simple Google form, so that people know straight away every issue that we do take event submissions. We do take sponsorship and advertising, and there's an opportunity there for me as well with the events to upsell and say to people, I can put it down the bottom just as a free listing, or if you want a bit more real estate within your newsletter, I can make it big, bold, beautiful, and there's a little bit of a charge for that. So I'm going to get that straight in there. Now let me show you how I would write this with AI in 5 minutes and change this complete structure around. This is Flux Local. This is a tool that I'm going to use in order to be able to create my local newsletter in about 5 minutes. All I've done is come into Flux Local. I put the country, the city, and I've decided to filter by this weekend, but you can see we've got other filters here. It's going to take about 2 minutes for you to run it. And then this has found 91 events in Melbourne that I'm able to use. All I need to do then is click on the events that I want. So I could select all and put all 91 in, or what I can do is I can just select the ones that I want going through the list. And I won't show you the full list because you can get a free account if you want and play with this tool, but you can see they're all here. So all I've got to do is go through, pick the ones that I want. And when I've done that, I've got a couple of options. I can click this button here. This is actually going to write the newsletter for me. Or I can click this button here and it's going to create these social media carousels. I can put them up as carousels on Instagram. I can download them as individual files and use them as images. Again, Instagram, Facebook. I can turn them into a video. Tons that I can do with this. Now, if you look over here at these Pro, this is a carousel maker here that I've just mentioned. Pro here, Pro here. These things are actually included in the lifetime deal for Flux Local. So you can get a free account and test this out. You can pay monthly if you want to. Use the link down in the description next to the Beehive one. Then you get the page that goes to the lifetime access for the lifetime deals. You've got the Starter, Pro, and Enterprise plan. If you're just a one newsletter a week kind of person, the Starter's enough for you. If you think you might want to go up to more than one a week, then you're going to want Pro, and you're going to want Enterprise if you're thinking of running multiple newsletters. But what this is going to give you is it's going to give you access to Flux Local. The carousel maker is going out at the moment to our lifetime deal users, not our monthly deal yet. So if you pay monthly, you won't get it yet. And also the custom scraper, you're going to get first before anyone else. And you can also put RSS feeds as well, whether you're paying monthly or for the lifetime deal. We also have a playbook. We also have a course that's included in the lifetime deals as well. So stupidly cheap for a huge amount of value. So as I mentioned, the playbook, I'll get on to monetization because that's what the playbook does that we give you as part of a founding member buying our lifetime deals. It's got 30 different growth and monetization tactics within it. Because if you're just spending 5 minutes a week writing your local newsletter, then you've got a huge amount of time for growth and monetization. So that's what I'll be doing next. I'll be adding in around about 3 monetization options. I can go into the playbook, pick some out and put them in. The nice thing about the playbook as well is we've organized it so it's based on what growth and monetization strategies for you to use based on the size of your list. So how many subscribers you've got. So you're not just looking at 30 and going, well, this is great, but which one do I pick? It's like we literally tell you, like, if you've got 200 subscribers, do this. You've got 500, you can do this. But that's what I'll be doing. I'll be going through the newsletter once Flux Local is written for me and I've cut and pasted it in and chucking in those monetization strategies. Already we've got the self-liquidating offer that I mentioned. So that's one of them there. And then I just put a couple more opportunities into my local newsletter to make sure that before the first newsletter goes out, I have got money making opportunities in my local newsletter. So that is the 5 things that I would do, whether I was partnering with these guys to help them relaunch or whether I was buying this. Now, I did say I'd talk to you about buying it. A newsletter like this, I'd be pitching them at 20 cents a subscriber. That's where I'd be going in at. If they don't want to take this over, then, so if they don't want to give it up, I should say, they don't want somebody else taking it over, then that's fine. But at 20 cents a subscriber, and they don't want to write this anymore, they'll probably be quite happy to take the money and walk away. And then I can go through this and I can relaunch. This would be sort of phase 1. Then once that first newsletter's out, I can start with the Facebook ads, social media, all that kind of stuff. If they don't want to sell it, then I would just partner with them. I say, look, I can get this relaunched for you and I would be able to do it for a fixed fee. And then we could talk about partnering up going forwards, whether they want, me to help run it. And then we could talk about a partnership going forward just like that. But yeah, a huge amount of potential here with the Melbourne 417. Some very easy, quick wins for me to put into place. And then some other opportunities going further on in the future. If you want more videos like this, please do let me know. SLO, if you want that video that I mentioned and the tool to help you with the self-liquidating offer. I'll see you in the next one.